Recently, my grandmother was over visiting, and I overheard her speaking with my father about all the usual family matters. Then the conversation turned a little bit. They started talking about who is sick and who will take care of who after they can't look after themselves anymore. I realized a lot of my friends are in similar situations, with sick grandparents and aging relatives. And I kind of realized something. We're witnessing the changing of a guard here. The torch is being passed on to our generation. So look around you at all the people in the funny hats and robes. In this room, we have the doctors that will take care of our parents, the teachers that will educate our children, the soldiers that will protect us, and the engineers that will build our futures. It won't be long now before we as a generation are the ones running things. That's a big responsibility, because someday we'll be the ones in the audience watching our kids graduate. The question is, what kind of world are we going to leave them? There's this term going around that I'm really not that fond of. The critics of the world are tagging us the MySpace generation. I know it's early, we haven't even graduated yet. But I think maybe we haven't reached up to our full potential if sitting in front of a computer and updating our MySpace is what the future remembers us for. I mean, it's early, but we can do better than MySpace generation. Don't worry, with the Middle East, child obesity, impending energy crisis, we have plenty of chances to do great things. One of my teachers told me that this year at THS, there were more students enrolled in AP classes than any previous year. Also, at the awards banquet a couple of weeks ago, there were a couple of scholarships that were awarded to more than one person for the first time ever, simply because there were so many strong candidates. That's pretty good. Academically, as a class, we've done a lot for ourselves. But what have we done for everybody else? Maybe sometimes we spend so much of our energy on MySpace, we neglect our space. We're in this together, so we may as well look out for each other. Now, I remember an incident last spring that the administration wasn't particularly thrilled about. Maybe some of you remember it. It involved a rap video in the morning announcements. Now, I am not condoning this event. However, I think that our reaction to it is kind of a testimony to what we can do. Over the course of a few days, with no prior notice, just a handful of students managed to organize the design, production, and distribution of almost 100 t-shirts. That's amazing. Wall Street can't get guys like that. Now, maybe this event isn't the best thing to bring up when talking about the maturity of our class, but if we can do all that, if we can accomplish so much over such a silly thing, we can do anything. As cliche as it sounds, our time is now, and the future is bright. But in this bright future, we cannot forget our past. I can't help but think of some of the things John F. Kennedy said. It was a tough time when he became president. It was the middle of the Cold War. But it was also a time of great opportunity, because a brand new generation was stepping up, just as we are now. Just like Kennedy said about his era, these are extraordinary times, and we face an extraordinary challenge. And just as Kennedy said about his generation, we do not shrink from the responsibility. We welcome it. So ladies and gentlemen, graduates of 2007, on behalf of our children, I challenge you to give the world something our generation can be proud of. Or at least try. It'll make for a good story on MySpace.